So with the Houston Texans now in the Jaguars rearview mirror, you look at the rest of the schedule and there are 6 games left. The Jaguars are 8-3. So right now we're not only satisfied with winning the AFC South, now we're fighting for playoff standings and playoff seeding. And right now the Jaguars are 8-3, and there is a legit chance that the Jaguars can get the number 1 seed. How can the Jaguars do it? Let's talk about it. Now, before we get into this video, quick shout out to Jags Bids for sponsoring this video. What's up, Jags fans? So I have a really cool opportunity for you guys through Jags Bids, and they are giving away 2 Jaguar fans this Doug Peterson signed Jaguars helmet. Jags Bids are available through the official team app. Click More Than Bids to see all kinds of Jags memorabilia that is updated regularly to be auctioned off that features gear from current and former players. Make sure you download the Jaguars app, which is where you want to go anyway in order to win this Doug Peterson signed helmet. Open up the Jaguars app, click on More, hit Jags Bids, filter by offer type giveaways, then the helmet will immediately pop up. You can find it in the same exact way through your browser. Hit the top of my description or go to jaguars.com/jagsbids, then filter the same exact way. Whichever way you choose to enter, make sure to fill out your information, including your shipping address and card info, as the winner will need to pay for shipping, which is a steal for a signed helmet from one of the best head coaches in Jaguars history. Go enter now, as this giveaway ends after the Monday Night Football game versus the Bengals. Go Jags. So big opportunity over there at Jags Bids. I've also linked their Facebook group down in the description box down below if you guys want to check that out too. So pending the Jaguars really having a huge downfall at the end of the season, the Jaguars more than likely win the AFC South. Now, what would it take the Jaguars to go win the AFC South worst case scenario? Look, the Jaguars would need to go at least 4-2 with one of those wins being against Tennessee, and the Jaguars would clinch the AFC South. So it doesn't matter what the Texans do, what the Colts do. Texans and the Colts can go 6-0, 5-1. If the Jaguars go 4-2 with just a win over the Titans, that will do it for the Jaguars when it comes to winning the AFC South. But that's also the fact that, look, maybe Houston and Colts drop a game here or there. Look at the for example, the Texans and Colts go like 5-1, and the Jaguars can basically buy an extra game there. So yeah, and with the Jaguars, with the 6 weeks left, you kind of look at stuff, and there's a good chance that the Jaguars could win a bunch of games there. So let's go ahead and discuss the current playoff standings. So if the season were to end today, the Ravens would actually have the number 1 seed because they do have an extra game on everybody else. They're 9-3. The Chiefs are 8-3. They have the number 2 seed. The Jaguars at number 3 with an 8-3 record, and the Dolphins at number 4 with an 8-3 record. Now, number 5 in the standings is Pittsburgh. 6 is Cleveland. Number 7 is the Indianapolis Colts, and the teams that are in the hunt vying for playoff spots are the Houston Texans, Broncos, and the Buffalo Bills. So if we want to go ahead and take a peek at the Jaguars' remaining schedule, it is honestly pretty easy, and I'd say the Jaguars are probably favored in at least 5 of these games, maybe even all of them, but I can definitely put money on it right now that the Jaguars are going to be favored in 5 of these games. Look, the Jaguars play Monday Night Football against the Bengals, then they go to Cleveland and play the Browns. The big thing about that one is that we are not playing them at full strength. Both teams are going to be playing with backup quarterbacks, and right now the Browns might even be playing Joe Flacco that game, is what I heard in a report today. So yeah, with that one, the Jaguars are 9-point favorites against the Bengals. And I imagine with the Browns, the Browns have a good defense. I just don't see that offense being able to put a lot of points against the Jaguars. And I just don't see their offense being able to outscore our offense. That's just what I'd say about that. And then you have the Ravens on Sunday Night Football. That is the big, tough one. And that is one that you really want to win for playoff seeding, which I'll get into later. And then the Jaguars finish up in Tampa on Christmas Eve, and then at home against the Carolina Panthers, who have 1 win, and then at the Tennessee Titans, who are 4th in the AFC South. So, when you look at the schedule, it's actually pretty favorable. You would think that 5-1 is probably realistic, and 6-0 would be really, really crazy. And 6-0 is very possible, but 5-1 is probably more reasonable. Now, I think about it. Okay, if the Jaguars go 6-0, are they automatically the number 1 seed? And that is a no. The Jaguars are not in control of their own destiny. Look, the big thing that hurts is the fact that the Jaguars lost to the Chiefs. Look, the Jaguars and Chiefs have the same exact record, and the first tiebreaker goes to a head-to-head record. Whoever whoever wins the head-to-head matchup is going to get the tiebreaker. And as we all know, the Jaguars dropped to the Kansas City Chiefs in week 2, so the Jaguars would basically have to jump a game against the Chiefs. And if you look at the Chiefs' remaining schedule, they play in Green Bay on Sunday Night Football versus the Bills, at New England versus Las Vegas versus Cincinnati, and at the Los Angeles Chargers. So when I look at this, probably the best opportunities are coming in the next couple weeks because, look, they play in Green Bay, which is a tough environment, but you also look, and the Packers are actually playing some good football. Kind of surprising to me. I thought they were kind of a dead team, but they have resurrected and they are playing some good ball, and that's a tough environment, so that could very well be one to drop. But then they play in 2 weeks a very, very desperate Buffalo Bills team. And look, the Chiefs and Bills over the last couple seasons have really sparked up a rivalry. You know, they're always going against each other in these crazy games that are always pretty entertaining. But those two teams, like I said, they are rivals, and the Bills are basically backs against the wall. They need to win all the rest of the games in order to really have a shot at the playoffs. So those are the 2 ones. And then at Patriots versus Las Vegas versus Cincy, at Chargers, maybe the Chargers, because I still believe in Justin Herbert and, Keenan Allen and all their weapons, but they just fell off a cliff this year because of their coaching. But who knows? Maybe they fire the guy and then they get the little spark. You guys know how that goes. So yeah, with the Chiefs, yeah, they need to drop one, and the Jaguars need to go 6-0 in order to jump them. And then when you get into the Ravens, so the Ravens right now have the number 1 seed. They are 9-3. They have an extra game up on everybody. But if the Jaguars do go 6-0, the Ravens are on the Jaguars schedule right now. So that would enable the Jaguars to get the head-to-head against the Baltimore Ravens and get them in a situation where, like, the Jaguars would basically jump a game, because the Jaguars beat them, they're a game up, and then the Ravens go a game down. But you also look at it, if the Jaguars do go in there and beat them, and if the Jaguars go 5-1 with a win against the Ravens, that means that the Ravens are going to drop down a peg. And at the end of the day, if they end up with the same record, the Jaguars will get the higher seed than them because of head-to-head. So that is one to also monitor. Next up, we can look at so I'm not going to go through the Ravens schedule, like I said, because that's basically the situation. Just beat the Ravens is what needs to go down. If you lose to the Ravens, then, you're more than likely going to be below them. So yeah, it's going to be important for the Jaguars. And then the Dolphins right now, the Dolphins situation is a little bit tricky because, like I said, the first tiebreaker is head-to-head. And before I get into that, the Dolphins and Jaguars are tied. The records are 3-3. So the first tiebreaker, if the Jaguars and Dolphins go 6-0, the first tiebreaker would be the head-to-head. They don't play head-to-head this year. The next tiebreaker is division record, which, if each team wins out, both division records would be 5-1. So that is not something that is going to determine it. The third tiebreaker is common games winning percentages. So I went through and said, if the Jaguars go 6-0 and the Dolphins go 6-0, what's going to happen? Look, the common games percentage would basically have the Dolphins going 4-2 against common opponents, which would be a 67% winning percentage, and the Jaguars' common opponents would be 5-1. So that's an 83% winning percentage. So if the Jaguars and Dolphins each go 6-0 down the stretch, the Jaguars would actually win that tiebreaker. So that is one to definitely monitor. So at the end of the day, if you don't take away anything from this video, all we need to do, the Jaguars need to go 6-0, and the Chiefs need to go 5-1, and then the Jaguars have the number 1 seed. Okay, that's basically the way to break down. And I don't want to be one of those guys like look ahead. But guys, I'm a fan. Okay, like I know the players need to focus, because I can already see the comments. Oh, we just need to focus on Cincinnati, just one game at a time. Look, I am a fan. I'm a YouTuber. I'm making content. I'm discussing what's going down here. All these games are NFL opponents or NFL teams. You have a chance to lose any of these games, but I'm trying to put into a situation where I truly believe in what the Jaguars have, and I truly believe in the Jaguars' talent. And I actually do believe that the Jaguars, at the very least, go 5-1. And I think that Ravens game is a huge coin flip. But it's Sunday Night Football. It's in Jacksonville, and the Jaguars actually do play pretty well against the Ravens. You saw just last season, Trevor Lawrence went off against the Ravens. So that should be a really, really fun game, and I'm really looking forward to it. But yeah, one game at a time. We're playing the Bengals on Monday Night Football. We haven't played on Monday Night Football in 12 years. Okay, 12 years. So, I was just in high school last time they played. So that'll be a lot of fun. It's a complete blackout for the Jaguars versus a whiteout against the Bengals. So pretty cool uniform game. I'll say that. But yeah, that's all I got. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you to Jags Bids for sponsoring this one. Links down in the description if you guys want to go enter to win the Doug Peterson helmet. Giveaway ends at midnight on Monday. So with all that said, thank you for watching. Go Jags.